Hey, what's going on? It's JJ, the Lonely Bull in Asia here in Bangkok, Thailand. Here in my condo. Glad you can join me this morning for our Sunday morning coffee. It's been pretty hot here the last couple of days. We are at the beginning of rainy season, but really hasn't rained much in the last, well, since I've been back. It rained a couple of days, but the last few days it's been hot again. Um, with the heat index well over 100, usually about 109 to 114. So it's been super hot. But thanks for joining me for a Sunday morning coffee. Appreciate it. We'll get started here in just a second. Wait till we get people up and running here. And then we'll get started. We're going to talk about a couple of things here. First of all, we'll talk about the process so far with my education visa and my Thai language classes. And then moving. I'm going to move when my lease is up here at the end of October. So I'm going to move to a more central location, bigger location. So we'll talk about all those things. So stick around and we'll get to that in just a second. We'll wait a little bit for people to get on board here. I got a new video coming out tomorrow, and then it talks about the education visa. And then I got one that I need to edit and post probably Wednesday or Thursday this week that talks about, we could talk about this too, talks about what's the best move for you as a retired expat living in Southeast Asia to settle down with one Asian woman or to kind of play the field. So I talk about the pros and cons on both sides, and I don't really pick one side or another. I'll let you guys choose, but I'll edit that video this week and post that later this week. So if you're a member, you get to see those videos before anybody else does. So if you're not a member yet, you'd like to subscribe to my membership page. It's only 99 cents a month. So you can get it on the ground level, be one of the founding fathers, so to speak, of my membership group. And you can see those videos before anybody else. And I also have a library of other videos that I've got in there too that nobody else can see right now. So anyway, so been back a little over a week now from Vietnam. I posted a ton of videos about Da Nang and Vietnam, and so I'm kind of done with that now that I'm here in Bangkok in Thailand. It's going to be all Bangkok and all Thailand. So once in a while, I'll talk about, the other Southeast Asian countries I've been to, obviously the Philippines, because I've lived there for 3 years, Vietnam, some other places that I've visited. I'll intersperse those, maybe do comparisons and things like that. Whatever you guys want, really. It's kind of up to you what you want me to cover in my videos, but the majority of it is going to be talking about my experiences here in Bangkok and in Thailand, because now that I'm here full time, I'm in it to win it, so to speak. So I'm in for the long haul. My education visa will be at least a year, probably closer to 14 months. And then after that, my plan is to transition into a retirement visa full time. So I'm here for good. That's why I want to find a bigger place than where I'm at now. This is a nice place. I like it. It's small though. It's about 32 square meters, maybe not even that. So it's pretty small, but it's cheap. It's only $370 a month. But I originally got that because I was also renting out an apartment in Da Nang, Vietnam, and I'm paying about $270 a month there. So the combined rent from both of them and then bouncing back and forth, I just felt that I wanted to stay within a budget. So I did that. But now that I'm not renting in Da Nang anymore, I just want to concentrate on Thailand and Bangkok. Now I can use that extra money to get a bigger place. So I'm looking at something a little more central, because to be honest, I spent a lot of money on transportation being here because there's really nothing here. There's, it's a very local there's there's no mall, there's no grocery stores to speak of. There's a small little Lotus convenience store, kind of like a 7-Eleven. There's a couple of 7-Elevens. There's a Big C right across the way down the street from where I live, but it doesn't have a lot of things that I need. So, like, I went out to try to get some oatmeal, and I couldn't find any oatmeal there. So I'm going to have to travel to the Lotus store on Newt later today and pick up some oatmeal. Deodorant, you can't find deodorant there. Soap, for my shower, can't find that there. So there's certain things that you can get there, like my water. I'll get my big water jugs there. I can get paper towels. I can get some, my milk, things like that, bread. But there's some things that I'll have to go to another store. So that's why I'm looking to get in a more central location, so I don't have to spend as much money on the BTS, because right now I'm probably spending about at least $60 a month, probably more, on my BTS alone, on my Rabbit card. I got a Rabbit card and I just put money on it, and then I can use that, just tap it to get into the turnstiles at the BTS. And then when it runs low on my balance, I just put more money on it. But that starts to add up. So when you travel, I'm about 10 stops from Phrom Phong, which is kind of the central area, one of the central areas of Sukhumvit Road, Phrom Phong, and then Asok, right around that area. So I'm about 10 stops from there. So that can add up going back and forth. And if you do that every day, it really starts adding up, and you start spending a lot of money. So I think I'll save money on my transportation moving closer. I'll spend more money on my rent, but if I'm looking at what I was paying in Vietnam for my rent and what I'm paying here now, add those together, we're talking almost $600 total. And so my budget is about anywhere from 25,000 baht under. 25,000 is about $750. That's my budget. So, and we can talk a little bit more about that. My visa, or my education visa, I'm waiting on that. I went to the school last week as soon as I got back, and a week ago yesterday, actually, it was, and signed up for classes, paid for 2 levels. I wanted just to do the 1 level, but they don't offer that. You have to do the 2 levels. So that's an 8-month courses. So I got both books. So 2 levels. The total cost was about was it about $775, something like that, for the tuition, the books, and all that. And then they work with me. They will help get my education visa, and then when that goes through and I'm ready to do that, they'll go with me to the immigration office, and I can get my stamp, my education stamp, and then I'm good for a year. I just have to keep renewing, extending every 90 days, but I don't have to leave the country. I can leave the country, but if you leave the country, you have to re-register for your education visa. So probably I'm just going to stay in Thailand until I'm done with my classes. I'll travel around. I've got options, because they have classes 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, but you only have to go 4 days a week, and it's 2 hours a day. So I'm just waiting for my schedule to be delivered to me and everything. So I'll know whether they have 4 different class times. They have 8:30, 10:30, 1:30, and 3:30, 2 hours each. So once I get into one of those schedules, I can just go 4 days a week, and then I'll have basically a 3-day weekend. And if I want to travel, around Thailand and do a 3-day weekend or a 4-day weekend, I can do that. So, all right, let's get started on the chat here. Let's see. I'll be married in March. This is from Kiki and Jasmine. I'll be married in March. Was supposed to be July this year, but we had to reschedule. Okay, so do you have a date set in March? That's my birthday month. So Maybe you'll get married on my birthday or St. Patrick's Day, my favorite holiday. Expazaz, maybe start a soap store there. Yeah, right. Make my own soap. That seems very cumbersome doing groceries. Yeah. So once I move in a central location, and I'm looking at a place this afternoon in the Newt area, which is, I mean, basically the condo is right behind um, the Lotus store, and that's a big store. They've got restaurants and stuff downstairs, and it's a really neat area, kind of a small mall. So, but hey, good morning, Geo. Geo, Geo on the go. He changed his name so because he's no longer in the Philippines. So Geo on the go. Borrow some soap from your lady neighbor. I haven't met my neighbors. I see them occasionally, but it's pretty quiet up here. And to be honest, I think I'm the only foreigner other than the occasional expat that comes in on a Airbnb stay. But most of the ones that live here, their families, I see their kids going and coming and going from school every day, to and from school in their little uniforms. They hop on the train, and so it's pretty family condo oriented, and yeah. So I'm like the only foreigner, so I'm not speaking the language yet, but I plan on it. That's the reason. Are foreigners allowed to access other courses besides language? Yeah, they've got the school I'm going to. They have a Muay Thai boxing classes, and I actually saw the classrooms when I signed up, and they're really nice classrooms for the language courses. There's like 4 or 5 classrooms, and they can handle up to 30 students in a class. But they told me that the average size of a classroom is about 12 to 15, which is perfect for me. So, but across the hall, they're in this business building, and it's on the 4th floor down in Rama 9 area, which is only about 2 stops from Terminal 21 in Asok on Sukhumvit Road. So it's pretty convenient. But across the hall from these classrooms, they've got a Muay Thai gym and all the facilities there. So they do that. They also not. I don't think this school does, but other schools can teach Thai cooking classes, so you can do that. I've also heard, but I can't confirm, that there's scuba classes that you can take with an education visa, but I cannot confirm that. So. Good morning, good night to everyone in Kalinga, Luzon. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday to you too, Alan. Thanks for coming on this morning. Yeah, kickboxing. That's actually Muay Thai. But yeah, you're right. Good morning, JJ from Phil. Good morning, Phil. Personally, I need at least 40 square meters place if I'm going to be in it long term. Some new condos are only 27 square meters for one bedroom. It's like a shoebox. Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm looking at least 40 square meters, at least one bedroom, no studios. I need room to set up my studio, like to have a legitimate studio setup instead of here where I'm on my dining room table and it's just kind of cramped. My living room's behind me, my bedroom's there, and then you got the bathroom and the kitchen over here, and it's a small kitchen too. Not a lot of counter space, and I want to eventually get set up so I can actually cook at home and do some cooking, because I did that when I was in the Philippines. I cooked a lot, and of course, when I had a girlfriend and we lived together for over a year, she cooked a lot, and it was hard to keep from getting super fat. So. Good morning, Flynn. Flynn says, good morning, JJ. I arrived in Da Nang yesterday. I'm currently enjoying Hoi An. Awesome. Hoi An is a great place. How's the weather there? I hear you're in the rainy season now, but hopefully things are good there. How are you liking Da Nang? Have you been there before, Flynn? Let me know what's going on there. Dave says, hi, JJ. Good morning to you. Good morning, Dave. Thanks for coming on board this morning. March 14th in Cebu. Okay. Well, my birthday is March 1st. And of course, St. Patrick's Day is March 17th. So you're in good shape. You're missing the holidays. So if Geo on the Go channel name was already taken, which it is, can YouTube take the channel down? I'm not sure what your question is. It's Geo on the Go. I don't think it was already taken. He did some research and he's already got the channel, so I doubt it's been taken already. J Metal says, JJ, what do you think is more real, Bigfoot or aliens? Aliens. If you want the honest answer, I think aliens. I've been watching a lot of Y-Files lately. I don't know if you guys watch that. I'm addicted. I binge watch that guy. He's really good, and about 95% of the stuff he does, he debunks at the end of the video. But there's that 5 or 6 or 10% that he can't debunk, and so and some of it's that alien stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Let me see. Will the real Geo on the Go please stand up? Is there more than one? I don't think there's more than. I don't think there can be more than one. Yeah, this is Geo on the Go. He's got a new logo, got a new name, got a new life. He's living the dream, man. Being in Thailand. Cheers. I love Bangkok. I love Southeast Asia. I love my time in the Philippines, but it just got too small for me, and it just got every time I'd visit Bangkok or Thailand, and when I'd leave, I'd miss it. So I just knew that was my calling, I guess you could say. So, all right, we're all caught up with comments right now. So back to the education visa. Yeah, you can do there's other things you can do. You can do the Muay Thai boxing lessons. And if I'm still able to walk by the time I'm done with my Thai language, I may pick that up. I may do that. What the heck? I mean, I'm I'm working at getting back in shape, and so that would be a great way to get in shape. Plus, Thai cooking would be pretty awesome. I love Thai food, so that's always an option too. But you never know. We'll see. We'll see what everything brings. Right now, I'm just waiting. It'll be about probably 3 or 4 more weeks before I get notification from the school that we're ready to go and move forward with my education visa. And then what the plan is for me to meet them at immigration with my passport, get my stamp. And then once that happens, then they schedule my classes. And I think they have to wait until they get enough students to schedule the class, and then they'll let me know when it goes. So anyway, it seems Geo Jaga at Geo on the Go is the original one, JJ. I have no idea who Geo Jaga is. Geo on the Go, can we get a copyright strike? I don't know why you're so obsessed with that. Don't worry about it. Live your life. Don't stress out. Crater Lake in Oregon is supposed to have weird activities. Yeah. There's all these movies that came out, like Close Encounters and stuff like that. It almost seems like did they know something we didn't before all this was taking place? Because there's a lot of strange stuff. You just have to dig around a little bit, but there's a lot of odd stuff going on. But I think it's really interesting. I love that Y-Files channel. I think that's one of the better done YouTube channels there are out there. He does such a great job with the whole production thing, and he's so good at it. And I just love the part serious, part fun approach he has to the videos with his sidekick Hecklefish Moriarty. If you're not familiar with Y-Files, check it out. It's just WHY and Files. Go check his YouTube channel out. He's been doing it for a few years now, and he's got well over 1 million, maybe over 2 million subscribers. He's got a great following, but his production is so good. And what he does is these myths and these legends and these stories. He'll talk about that. He'll do all this research on it, and then at the end, he either debunks it or debunks the whole myth or the story or the legend, or he says, I can't debunk it. It's like this stuff is true, but this stuff, maybe not so true. But he does a great job, and the Hecklefish is this little animated goldfish he's got in a little bowl, goldfish bowl, and that has that New Jersey accent or New York accent, and his name is Hecklefish Moriarty is the full name, but it's fun. He does that, and if some people that don't like the Hecklefish part, so he has also videos that are shorter that doesn't have the fish in it so much. So anyway, let's see where are we at here. See, no other YouTube won't. Yeah, no otherwise YouTube won't let you change your name. Right, exactly. So thank you, Geo. My name is underscores Geo underscore on underscore the underscore go. Okay, gotcha. I will definitely check that channel out. Yeah, it's fun. I don't know. I wish he would give me kickbacks. That would be kind of nice. It is just confusing. Yeah, I'm not confused. Because I'm already subscribed to Geo's channel, so just that's the one that comes up. Geo on the go, you are not Geo. No, he's not. Short answer, your YouTube handle can't be the exact same as another channel. Gotcha. Right. Okay. All right. So I think we got the Geo. Maybe that'll be the next episode on Y-Files. Is Geo his real name? Is Geo real? What's the story behind Geo? Russ says, hey, JJ. Hello, Russ. Good morning. Thanks for joining this morning. I didn't ask if I was coming in okay, if the audio and the video is good, but I assume it is. Nobody said anything, so I assume everything's good. You guys have any questions that I can answer? We can open up the chat to anything. I'm going to give you an update on the education thing. So I've been kind of doing that. My plan on moving at the end of October. So I went and looked at a couple of places, a couple of condos this week. And like I said, I'm going to look at another one this afternoon. And then I think I've got another one scheduled for tomorrow. Let me look here. Hang on just a second. I got to bring my calendar up. I have to put everything on my calendar, otherwise I forget. By the way, happy Labor Day weekend for those in the U.S. or those Americans. It's Labor Day weekend. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, so I've got one today at 2, and then I'm excited about that one. That's the one in Newt area that's going to be really close to the mall, the Lotus's mall / grocery store. So I'm super excited about that. JJ, I'm looking forward to the education visa info. Yeah, so I'll post my first video on that tomorrow. It posts tomorrow. It's on the membership page. So if you want to be a member, 99 cents a month, it's all it costs. You can see that early before anybody else does. And then I'll post that tomorrow. I'll give you an update on that. Geo says, do you recommend working with an agent or no? It depends on what depends on what visa you're going with. I think if you, like when I finish with the education visa, I'm not working with an agent or anything. I'm just working with the school and they're helping me out on that. But when I do the retirement visa, I will definitely go through an agent. I think it's just easier. I mean, yeah, you got to pay some money to them, but I think it'd be just easier to make sure, all your T's are crossed, your I's dotted, because if you miss something, then you got to start all over again. And that would just totally suck. So, yeah, I will definitely work with an agent, I think, when that time comes. See, Dave says, thanks for the Labor Day wishes. No problem. Yeah. I'm thankful that I don't have to labor at work anymore. I've been retired now 2 years, and it's been total bliss. I can't believe I waited so long to retire. If I'd known it would be this good, I would have done it a while ago. But I guess things happen for a reason. So, do they test your Thai knowledge when renewing your visa? To my understanding, yes, they do. Now they may not that first time I extend, because I'll have to extend the first time in, I think it's 3 months after 3 months you extend. So I don't know how much they will test me, but from what I understand is they'll start testing you. They'll start speaking in Thai and making sure that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. And they also check in on the school to make sure that you're attending classes. So that's important too, because there was a lot of scam schools out there that were signing people up for these Thai language school classes, and people weren't going to class, and they weren't learning Thai. They just did it just to stay in the country for a year. So they're cracking down on that. Education visa is a no-brainer for me. I definitely wanted to learn Thai. Yeah. So my biggest issue was I'd always heard that if you're over 50, you can't get a education visa. But every school I checked into, 5 schools, they all said, yes, you can get an education visa. Doesn't matter what your age is. And they're all registered with the Ministry of Immigration. So they're all legit. And so looks like everything's good to go. So that's what I'm waiting for. And the nice thing is, if they say I can't have my education visa, if immigration for whatever reason denies me of a visa, I get my money back with the school. So that's nice. Yeah, immigration can test you on your Thai. Yeah, absolutely. 99 cents. Yeah, what a bargain. Yeah. So what are you waiting for? Sign up before midnight tonight. Remember Trump University? Yeah. Yeah, a lot of those proprietary schools got in trouble. I actually worked for one that got in trouble, not because they were doing anything underhanded. Here's the issue they had was this was a school in Indiana, and they went to the big pharma company in Indiana, and they underwrote the pharmaceutical company underwrote the student loans. And they went to the pharmaceutical company and said, we will, the company said, well, what's your default rate going to be on these loans? And they said, oh, about 20%. And they go, okay, great. So we'll underwrite all these loans, these student loans. So because tuition is so high all over, and the Pell Grants and the government loans doesn't keep up with the cost of tuition. So these private loans help match the funds of tuition, so these people can go to school, right? So what happened was, instead of a 20% default rate, it ended up being an 80% default rate. It was completely flipped. And so, speaking of flipped, so the pharmaceutical company, it was Eli Lilly, they flipped. And so they got the government involved, and so basically they shut down the school. So, but I was gone long after that. So that was my first job after I left after I left my second career, which was investments and insurance. So let's see, where are we at here? You'll have a lot better chance with the hotties if you know some Thai. Exactly. Or at least you'll know what the hotties are saying about you if you know some Thai. You can always just tell them, oh, I don't know any Thai, and then just listen to what their conversations are. Russ is right. Yeah, absolutely. JJ, what is the total yearly cost for the school and visa? So my cost let me get my notes out so I can tell you exactly. So for the first 8 months, it was 25,200 baht, which is about $775. The total cost, if I were to do the whole thing, which is all 3 levels at once for 14 months, it would have cost me 47,500 baht, which is about 15, not quite $1,500. That does not include the visa extensions. That's just the school, the books and the tuition and all that, and the help they give you. I'm doing it separately, though. I'm doing the first 2 levels first, and then I'll do level 3 afterwards. Because if I'm not doing well, I don't want to pay for level 3 if I fail. Also, she said, if I get ready for level 3, if I don't feel comfortable going into level 3, I can take level 2 again. So I'll the 25,200 for the first 2 levels, and then if I do level 3, that's another 15,000. So that's another $450. So not a bad cost, I don't think. That's I don't know what you guys think of that, but that's I think it's a pretty decent price. And there are several schools that I looked into. I can tell you the schools I looked at: AAA language. Let me get my notes out. I looked into AAA language, the Knowledge Language School, ALA Language School, Pro Language School, and then Sandy School of Thai Language, which is the one I went with. A friend of mine, Irish friend of mine, he's at Pro Language School, and that's right there on Asok, on Sukhumvit Road. So it's super convenient, but he loves it, and he's only been at it a few months, and he speaks pretty well. So he's doing good. Maybe the class can have a special session at happy hour. Yeah. Hey, maybe let's do our class on location at O'Shea's Pub. That'd be all right. Okay, thanks, Expozaz. Yeah, 1,471 US at today's exchange rate. Thanks for doing that conversion for me. Appreciate it. The older you are, the harder it is to learn a new language, especially a tonal language. Yeah, that's the Vietnamese language is super hard, and I swear when I'm talking to somebody that's Vietnamese and they tell me how to say something and I say it back, I swear I'm saying it the exact same way they are, and they swear I'm not. So I've kind of given up on Vietnam. I know a few phrases. That's about it. I can do cheers. I can do cheers in like 6 different languages. That's how cool I am. I could do, just the normal cheers. I can do slancha, which is Irish. I can do chung Kiao, which is Thai. Mot hai bat yo, mot hai bat yo, mot hai bat yo. That's Vietnamese. And then I knew Japanese, but I can't remember it now. It's been a while. So anyway, yeah, I'm very fluent in doing cheers with beers. Phil says that's a very reasonable price. Yeah, I thought so. I thought it was very reasonable. Really expensive fees. My niece is going to master's at Cornell shortly. Oh my God, I can only imagine. Probably looking at anything from 70 to 90,000. Don't know the exact figures, but it's very expensive. So I was watching. Who was I watching? Watching somebody on YouTube the other day, and they were talking about a California school. And I thought they said that their annual tuition was like $180,000. $180,000. Who the hell can pay that? That's ridiculous. And here's the problem with higher education. They're not in it for the student. They're in it for the money. I mean, just look at the Ivy League schools and how much money is in their coffers. They have billions of dollars in their coffers. But every time the government, and the government's just as guilty, they're in bed with the higher education, because every time the government says, okay, we'll raise Pell Grant to help these students pay for the tuition. But every time they raise the Pell Grant, the schools raise their tuition. So it's a wash. So they're all in it, and it's not good. And I'm so glad I was able to get my I have 2 bachelor degrees. I got them both before tuitions went crazy. I had some student loans. They're all paid off. So I got those paid off early. But I went to, I was working 3 jobs at a time to pay for my tuition. So I got it all done before these prices went way up. It's ridiculous how expensive school is. But I will tell you, just don't go to if you've got kids, put them in a tech school, put them in something so they learn a trade, put them in a trade school so they learn a trade. Like the last schools I worked at were A&P schools. They were aviation, airframe and power plant schools. And these guys got their A&P license. So they became certified licensed mechanics to work on planes. And they were making $60,000 right out the door of working for United or working for whomever. So have them work a trade, and and my cousin, he's a millwright. He's making good money. He does traveling all over the country in the U.S. Working jobs, and he makes a ton of money. And then in the winter, he just hibernates and stays at home because he's made all this money during the year. So yeah, that's I'll get off my bandwagon. So let me see. Russ, true, but living is a country that speaks that language is total immersion. Yeah. Well, that's what I want to do. I really want to immerse myself in the culture. I want to assimilate in the country's culture and their language and their food. I want to do it all. You're not immersed if you're just hanging out with the expats. Exactly. Yeah, you're right, Russ. I agree completely. Almost 100 in the room. Wow. That's not what I'm looking at. Well, hit the like button, guys. I would appreciate that. That would be cool if you can do that. Hit that like button for me. Thai language is very tonal. The same word can mean very different things depending on the tone. Yeah, I saw a video short, and I can't remember what the word was, but the Western guy was talking to a Thai girl, and he goes, "How do you say this?" And she says, "This." How do you say this? And it's almost like 4 different meanings, and each time it sounded the same to us, to me at least. So it's kind of funny. Probably Berkeley. Yeah, I think I think you're right. Cal Berkeley, I think it might have been. Rush, you're right again. Just pointing out that living there forces you to learn. Well, not necessarily. I mean, I lived in the Philippines for 3 years, and I never really learned the language there. Just a few things. Because I was in that bubble of BGC, so I didn't have to learn. Everybody spoke English to a point, so you get lazy in that respect. That's why I think being here in Thailand, they don't. I mean, you can get by without learning the language, especially if you're in Bangkok or Pattaya or some of the bigger touristy areas, probably Phuket to an extent. But if you get outside of that little tourist expat bubble, you're going to struggle, and that's why I want to really get into it a little more. So more out to the provinces. Yeah, you're right, Russ. Let's see. Phil says, for the amount of tax we pay in the USA, the colleges should be subsidized. We have the most expensive healthcare and education in the world. Yeah, and not the greatest either. That's the problem. I mean, especially in public schools, our education has really gone down, and we can get political. I don't want to get into ever since they created the Department of Education, things have gotten crappy, but there might be some truth to that, but yeah. All right. So we can keep talking about education, but yeah, I'm excited about learning Thai. That's going to be a fun trip for me. But I'll let you know how it goes. Now, the second thing I wanted to talk about was me moving. And let's see, let's get back to the chat real quick here. JJ, the Philippines is not a good example because they speak English, but if you go to Spain, you will be forced to learn Spanish. And I say that in a good way. Being forced is good, not bad. Well, I agree with you, Expozaz, but in the Philippines, if you get in the provinces, there are, I mean, some of the younger people speak English pretty well. But if you're in an area where you're talking to people more your age, that could be an issue. You might not find anybody that speaks English or English well. Even in Metro Manila, if you get into a taxi, hardly any of those taxi drivers speak any English. I mean, just a little bit. Most of them don't speak hardly any at all. That's why it's so hard to get to where you want to go if you're in a taxi in the Philippines, in Manila. That's why Grab is the choice, because at least Grab, they got the GPS. So yeah, you can, yeah, they say, oh yeah, everybody speaks English in the Philippines, but that's not necessarily so. Trust me, from experience. But okay, so I want to move. Learning only from books, you may never become fluent. Living there is an advantage. So the problem, before we move on, the problem in the Philippines and in Thailand and in a lot of these Asian countries is, like Thailand, they teach English in their public schools. Same with the Philippines, but the students are being taught by Thai people or Philippine people. If you're in the Philippines, they're not being taught by native English speaking people. So that becomes problematic. So they may not learn the right way, or they may not learn well. So that can be an issue down the road for them. But at least they're trying, Um, See, Bjorn, what type of visa are you currently on in Thailand? Right now, I'm on a tourist visa. I came here visa-free entry. I've been living here since October. End of October is when I moved here from BGC in the Philippines. But I've been living here on a tourist visa. I left when my visa. I left 2 times. So I left in January, went to Vietnam, and then to the Philippines, and I needed to renew my passport. So I did that in the Philippines, mailed it into the U.S. Embassy there. And then I came back here in May. And then when I did 90 days, May, June, July, and then I went to Vietnam for almost a month, about 24 days total. I came back here on a tourist-free visa. So I'm here on a 60-day visa. And then I signed up for my Thai language school, and they are working on getting my visa changed into an education visa. And they said that it's going to be about 4 to 6 weeks, and then they'll notify me when they're ready to meet me in immigration, get my stamp. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm on a tourist visa, waiting to get that changed to an education visa so I can start school. So yeah, excited about that. And excited about moving too. I checked a couple of here. Let me show you where I looked at yesterday, or the day before yesterday. Let me share my screen with you guys. Hang on just a second. Make sure I got the right one. Okay. All right. This is, let's see if I can make that bigger. Okay. I don't know if you guys can see that if you're on your phone. If you're on your TV, you can probably see it a little better. But this is the place I looked at day before yesterday, I think it was. Hold on a second. Make sure that's still, yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is a really neat place. I really liked it. It's called 49 Plus. It's like 50 some square meters. I mean, I love the wood floors. I'm a big sucker for wood floors. So you got that wood floor there. Big dining room area. There's the couch, nice comfy couch, nice spacious living area there. Here's the view from back a ways, back by the kitchen. So you've got that. There's the kitchen here. You got a washing machine, nice big refrigerator with a freezer down below. Counter space, which is good. There's a shot of the living room again. There's a shot from the other side. So you can see you've got your bedroom over here on the left. There's your entrance at the end. Nice lighting. You got these recessed lights above. Nice artwork above here, above the couch. There's a nice size TV. There's the bedroom. You got a king size bed, nice size bed, a decent, comfortable mattress. You got a big desk area here, and then lots of closet space, lots of wardrobe space there. There's another shot there. And then two AC units, one in the bedroom, one in the living room. There's the other one there. Those are inverter air conditioners, so they're going to be a lot cheaper. Another view there from the dining area. Here's the bathroom. So you got a nice, I don't think that's granite. That might be quartz countertop, but it's decent. Got a nice sink. You got the bum gun, of course. And then you got a walk-in shower, which is nice. You got the door and everything. So a lot of problems in Asia. You got some of these older places as you have open shower, and so water gets everywhere, and I just don't like that. There's the kitchen. So there you have a little stovetop area. I think it's a 2-burner. There's the view. So you got a nice view of the city. This is in the Tong Lo area, by the way. The rooftop pool is small, but you can do some laps. I'm not a swimmer anyway, but I do a dip in the pool every once in a while. But it's a small pool, but not too bad. And there's your entrance there. 49 Plus is the name of the condo. It's about a 10-minute walk to the Tong Lo BTS, which is on Sukhumvit. The only issue I have with it is that there are no real sidewalks. So you kind of have to walk in the street. So that's a little bit of a problem for me. I really don't like that. But let me see. The cost was, let me look here. It was 25,000, and they would go. I'm looking at something where they'll drop the price if I do a longer term lease. Since I'm going to be here, I want to lock in a good price. So they're asking 25, but I offered them 20 if I signed a 2-year lease, and they accepted that. So I've got that option. The only drawback, it doesn't have much of a gym. It's got a small gym. I think it's got one machine, one treadmill, one bike. That's about it. One bench. So not a lot. I would have to join a gym probably if I took this place. And it's an older place, but I really like it. It's really nice, I think. But the one I looked at yesterday was pretty nice too, and that was in the Phrom Phong area. And then the one today is going to be in the Newt area. So I'm excited to see that. The pictures look really good. I don't have those. I don't have those on my desktop, so I'll show you those. I'm videotaping all of the condos that I look at. So I'll put them all together and do a video, show you guys the condos I look at and let you know. So the one yesterday, and I'm talking to the same realtor today with this other one. They'll let me. I can't move in, or I don't want to move in until November 4th. That's when my lease is up here. I don't want to leave here early and lose my deposit because it's 2 months deposit. But the realtor that I talked to yesterday, the owner she worked with at the condo I looked at yesterday, she'll let me pay 1 month deposit now and hold it until November. So that's pretty cool. And then I'll just pay the other month deposit and the 1 month rent when I move in November. So that's pretty cool. Hopefully the place I look at today looks pretty nice. And it will be more of the same. Let's see if I can, let me bring that up real quick and I'll give you the details on how much it is and how big the place is. So let me look here real quick. Okay, it's on Property Scouts. Hang on just a second. I got to get a sip here. Okay, one bedroom next to BTS on Newt. It's 22,000 and it's 59 square meters, so it's a really good size. And it looks really nice, and it looks like it's got this separate space that I can set up my studio that's away from my dining room area, my living room area, my kitchen area. So I'm super excited to see it. So I think that's going to be a really good thing for me if I can make that happen. Let's see. Let's get caught up with chat. Okay, Kiki and Jasmine. I did my degrees in Barcelona from 94 to 98 and masters from 2000 to 2002. Extremely affordable back then because housing was very affordable too. Completely different now. Barcelona is expensive. Yeah, I got my degree in 91, my last bachelor's. So why not retirement visa? Well, I'm going to do a retirement visa, but here's my thought process on this whole thing. I want to learn Thai language anyway, right? So with a retirement visa, you have to deposit 800,000 baht into a Thai bank account, which is about $25,000, just under maybe US. Or you have to show that you have income coming into your bank account, 65,000 baht minimum a month for a year. Well, it used to be that the U.S. Embassy can show a letter of verification or whatever they call it that shows that your bank account statements showing a minimum of 65,000 baht into your U.S. bank account, which is about what $1,900, something like that, a little more than that. Well, they don't do that anymore. And there's no other, and the Thai immigration doesn't accept any other form of verification. So you have to deposit the 800,000 to a Thai bank account. Well, one, I'm a little leery about putting 800,000 into a Thai bank account. So here's my thought was, okay, I'll do this education visa for a year. And an education visa is a non-immigrant visa, so I'm eligible to open up a bank account in Thailand. So I'll open up a bank account and deposit 65,000 baht in it every month minimum, and I'll just use that money to pay for rent and expenses here. I'll do that for my year or 14 months while I'm doing my education visa, and then at the end, when I'm done with my education visa, I can go into immigration and do all the paperwork and show them my 12 months minimum of putting that 65,000 baht into a Thai bank account. And I won't have to put the other 800,000 in. At least that's my thought. We'll see if it works. I'll let you know. I'll keep you posted, but we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that's my thought process. So that way I'm killing two birds with one stone, basically. I'm learning Thai, hopefully learn Thai. On an education visa, I'm putting money. I can open up a bank account, put money in, and then when my education visa is up, I can transfer that into a retirement visa. So that's my plan. I'll let you know how it works. I'll keep you posted. So stand by. Russ says, nice bachelor pad. Yeah, right. That would be pretty cool, right? I can't wait to see the one this afternoon. 25,000. Nice. Yeah. That's 750, a little over 750 bucks. So yeah. And she'll lower it to 20,000 if I do the 2-year. And why not do a 2-year? Why not lock your price in? Because you never know, in a year, prices probably go up. They generally go up. They don't go down very often. And if I can get it cheaper, and I'm going to be here anyway, and if I like the area and I like the condo, why not stay long term? All right. Let's see. A very nice place. Yeah, I thought it was. 49 plus seems like a great place. Yeah, like I said, I like everything about it except for the gym's kind of underwhelming. The pool is okay. There's not a lot around there. I mean, you could walk up the street toward Sukhumvit, and you start running into restaurants and food places and 7-Elevens and things like that. It's about a 10-minute walk to the BTS, maybe a little more, maybe 10 to 12 minutes, depending how fast you walk. So that's kind of right at my limit of how far I want to be from a BTS station. And there's no sidewalks. That's the only thing. I don't like walking in the street. I would rather have a sidewalk, so I'm not having to worry about looking for traffic and things like that. So, don't motorbikes drive on the sidewalks in Vietnam? In Vietnam, yeah, I mean here too. I mean you can be on walking up and down Sukhumvit, and they've got wide sidewalks, and you'll see a motorcycle cutting through so they can get on a side street, and they don't have to go through traffic. That happens quite a bit, but not, and it's not as bad because the sidewalks on Sukhumvit Road are so wide that you just, as long as you're out of the way, you're going to be fine. But this street that I walk up to from this 49 plus place, there are no sidewalks. I mean, you're walking on the street the entire 10 minutes you're walking to Sukhumvit Road. So that can be a little hairy at times, I think. Da Nang is way cheaper. Yeah, you're right. Super cheap. My apartment in Da Nang was only $270 a month, like 7 million dong, Vietnam dong. And you got the beach. I hate places that have open showers. I fell on my ass in the middle of the night when I went to use the toilet. The floors stay wet and slick for hours. Yeah, I hate that. It's even worse is the shower that's above the toilet. It's like, who the hell comes up with these ideas? It's like, okay, I'm taking a dump and a shower at the same time. Yeah, there you go. You're saving time, I guess. 2013. What is that? What does that come? What is that for? Is that the 65,000 baht? Oh, it's 2,000 now with the current exchange rate. Yeah, okay, 65,000 baht is just over $2,000, which is nothing. You can put $2,000 in a bank every month. I mean, you should be able to. You shouldn't be here if you couldn't. To really learn Thai, you need a Thai girlfriend. Yeah, you're probably right. There's my angle. The Philippines will eventually imitate Thailand with the visa situation. You think so? I don't know. That'd be interesting. That would kill their tourism if they change that whole tourist visa situation they have in the Philippines. Right now, it's super easy. Just stay there for 3 years without even having to leave the Philippines. But I mean, you got to figure out what kind of tourists do they want there. I don't know. I know they've raised the price on the extensions, on the tourist extensions. Those have gone up quite a bit from what I understand. So yeah, you never know. So let me see. We've got 81 on right now, it looks like. Let's see. Or 81 views. Okay. So hit that like button if you haven't before. I would appreciate that. That would be cool if you could do that for me. Let's see what else we got going on. Not to age you, but can you share how old you were when you retired 2 years ago? Just trying to compare myself. I was 64 when I retired. So my whole thing was when I moved here to work, and when my job ended, my contract ended, I couldn't find I wanted to stay in the Philippines, or I wanted to stay in Southeast Asia. And I couldn't find anything that I liked. So my thought was, okay, I'll have to go back to the US. I had a job offer there. I would have to work till I'm 70 in order to have a decent life in retirement living in the US. Or I looked at the big picture. I put the pen to paper and figured out what my numbers were. And it's like, you know what? I can retire now at 64 and have a good life and stay in Southeast Asia. So that's what I did. So now you know. But I only had one issue with retiring, and that was after the first year. There's a form you have to fill out every year and send in to Social Security Administration to update your address and basically prove you're still alive, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what they call it. Anyway, this form they mail out to you. Well, after in my first year of retirement, I moved from one condo to another, and they sent it to my old address before I updated my new. And so I didn't get the form. And being new at this whole thing, I didn't know you had to do that. So I didn't update. And come January, so Social Security payments are a month behind. So you get your Social Security for January and it pays out in February, right? So come January 1st, no address, no verification from me. So they suspended my payments. They suspended my Social Security payments. And they don't send you any notification. You just have to look on your site to find that out. So February comes, and I always get paid on the first, on the 3rd of the month. February 3rd comes, and I look at my bank account, and it's nothing. It's like, oh, that's odd. February 4th comes, nothing. February 5th, it's like, what's going on? So I logged into my Social Security, and it showed it was suspended. And I go, what the hell? So I finally got a hold of somebody, which is near impossible, and found out that was the reason. So I downloaded the form, printed it out, filled it out, sent one to the U.S. Embassy in Manila, and sent the other one to the Wilkes-Barre, however you pronounce it, Pennsylvania. That's the office you have to send it to. And it cost me about $115 to mail it overnight. But I got it there, and it took 2 months. So April, I got all those back payments. I got the January, February, March back payment. So it was like, ooh, nice payment in April. I finally got all my money. But so that was the only issue I've ever had with my retirement, doing it all overseas. So, if you're worried about doing that, don't worry. It's pretty easy peasy. Either live with a Thai woman or date often. You know what? That's I got a video coming out this week about the options. Is it better to just date around and play the field and maybe do the pay for play freelancers, or date one woman, settle down and have that relationship? Which is the better option, retired in Southeast Asia? So I got a video coming up on that this week. So stay tuned. If you're a member, I'll post it probably tomorrow. So you'll be able to check it out before anybody else does. Check out that neighborhood after it rains. Some areas flood a bit, and you may be walking in 8 inches of water trying to get to the BTS. Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. There are areas down along Sukhumvit, well, all over Bangkok, that do flood. So you got to be careful with that. Yeah. Hey, Ace Bachelor Tom. Also, if you can share, did you already take Social Security? Yeah, I'm doing it right now. I've been doing it for 2 years now. I did it early. Just trying to plot my exit from the U.S. in 5 or 6 years, and we'll be your age. Okay. Well, good luck to you. Don't work till you're almost dead. Would not lock in 2 years without trying out the apartment first. What if you don't like the noisy neighbors, etc.? Maybe they can give you a month trial first. Yeah, that might be an option. I don't know if they would do a month trial. Maybe they might do it like as an Airbnb first for a little more money, but I'd be willing to do that, to check it out. But 70 is the number they want us to retire now. Zero chance I'm working at 70. Well, that's what it is now, but I think they're going to raise it. I think all the minimums are going up just to help to pay for it. And what do you think about being retired? I'm getting closer, and I wonder what it will be like. It is the best decision I ever made in my life, bar none. I have no regrets. I've never regretted any part of retirement. It has been fantastic, and no regrets whatsoever. So if you can make it work, if you got the money to make it work, don't wait. Don't work till you're too old to enjoy life. I would like a Thai maid, I think. Oh, yeah. Who wouldn't? Wow, nice video coming up. Better join. There you go, Dave. Better join. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Dave. Appreciate that. Let me see. Let me do something here. Let me I don't have a membership video. I have that. Congratulations. Thank you. Appreciate you. Okay, let's go back to the comments. Let's get caught up with the chat here. Dave just joined the bowl. Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Dave. Appreciate you, buddy. JG, did you decline Medicare Part B? I saw no reason to pay for it living over here since we can't use it. Yes, I did. I declined Part B. And it may be a bad decision because what I'm hearing is they may make it eligible in the Philippines to use your Part B Medicare, but I don't know if that's happening or not. But right now you can't. So I decided not to do it. Now, from what I understand, I can pick it up later, but there's penalties. You have to pay. It's like you have to pay part or a lot of your back payment if you got into your Medicare late. So I don't know about that. So jarring. Look at that. Bjorn, another new member. Woo! All right, let's do this. Just having fun. Okay, guys, what else you guys want to talk about? Any questions? We did the language classes. We talked about me moving. Yeah, I want to get something. I told my realtor at least 40 square meters. It would be nice to get larger. And I'm willing to sign a longer lease if I can get lower monthly rent. So I told her yesterday, I said, if you can look at something that up to 30,000 baht a month, which is about $900, a little over $900. So if I can get something that they're asking 30,000, but they'll drop it to 25,000 if I sign a 2-year lease, I'll do it. Or if I can find a really nice place that's 25,000, and if I sign a 2-year lease, they'll drop it to 20,000. I'll do that. So that's what I told her. So that's what she's looking at. So is AI restricted there? I'm not sure what you mean by AI and restricted. I mean, I don't think so. Are you going to do another collab with Geo in the future? Yeah, I think we are. So I did a long time ago. I did this video, and I was planning on making a what do you call it? A podcast, aside from my normal channel, called Beers with the Boys. And I did one. I actually did 2 episodes, but I only put one on. And that was a long time ago. And I may start doing that again now that I'm kind of settled down in Bangkok, and I may start doing a Beer with the Boys. And I might try to collab with Geo, and there's a couple other vloggers here in Bangkok that I know that I may try to collab with. But I'll also do collabs just on a one-time basis or whatever with YouTubers here in Bangkok. So I know some guys that still pay for and say they will fly back home if something is serious. My argument is, if it's something serious, you cannot fly for 26 hours. I'm not sure what the 26-hour thing is. I mean, yeah, it might take you 26 hours to get home. So if it's serious, you could be in trouble. But I've got insurance that covers exactly those things. So if there's a medical emergency, I have to fly home, my insurance covers that. So even with the expenses, let's see. My Medicare Advantage plan reimburses emergency medical internationally, but you need a U.S. residence. Okay, well, that's interesting. Well, I have a U.S. residence. My residence is in Nebraska, so I would not decline Part B unless for sure you are coming back or not coming back. It should be, right? You get penalized per year for the rest of your life. In other words, your payment will always be higher every month than the standard. Yeah, that's what I heard, but oh well, it's too late. Yeah, maybe I made the wrong decision, but what? Sometimes you just got to make a decision and live with it. I have a question. What is the average cost of health insurance in Thailand? Nobody ever mentions anything about insurance that I'm aware of anyway. So right now I've got the travel insurance and I pay about 70, I think it's 77 a month for what I have. I'll probably change that over to something more permanent here once I get a permanent visa and I know I'm staying here. And I'll keep you informed on that. I'll let you know what that's going to be when that happens. But right now, I got that travel insurance, so it covers incidentals. If I have something small that happens, like when I broke my fingers in the Philippines, I paid cash for that to get the splint and the X-rays and the doctor costs and all that. I just paid out of pocket for that. Most of this stuff here is pretty inexpensive, so it doesn't cost that much. So I just pay out of pocket. But I've got that insurance for anything that's a little more expensive. So I will keep you informed when things change as far as my insurance goes. Let's see what else is going on. Let's see. We talked about my apartment. We talked about education. We talked a little bit about dating. Whether it's good to be what. So let's ask chat. What's more feasible, to have one girlfriend and settle down with a long-term relationship here in Southeast Asia if you're a retired expat, or play the field and just kind of date around, maybe do the pay for play, the freelance girls, and pay out of pocket for that. What is your guys' opinion on that? Which do you think is better? I heard you can buy local Thai private health insurance with Thai companies. Yeah, I've heard that too, and I'll look into that down the road. Right now, I'm not really interested in that right now. It's something that I need to look into a little more once I get here, full time. How about tug and not bother? Yeah. Yeah, you could do the tug, Chugsy. Yeah, no doubt. Do the soapy massage. But those can get expensive. So I don't know what's more expensive, doing the pay for play, a couple of times a week, or having a girlfriend where you're paying for that too, every day of the week. So it's hard to tell. There's good and bad on both sides, right? Enjoy and live and enjoy life as a free person. There you go. Save your bot. Yeah, gotcha. Health insurance is not really needed there. It is very affordable. Yeah, it is affordable, but if there's something major that happens, it can get expensive. So, yeah, unless you've got a good amount of savings to pay for those high cost emergencies, then you should probably get some sort of health insurance. Would you say Siloam is a good area to live if you are into local street foods and markets? Yeah, Siloam's great. And It's close to the train systems. You got the MRT and the BTS right around there. Um, it's I think it might be a little more pricey, but I'm not sure. If you get farther away from the BTS, the farther away from the trains, the cheaper the cost is, no matter where you're at in Bangkok, in my experience. So if you don't mind walking 10-15 minutes to get to the train, um, you're going to find some pretty good deals. There is a place I'm looking at. They're setting it up, and it's farther away from the BTS here in Sukhumvit. It's closer to the river, but it's not far from the trains. It's a little bit of a walk, but it's it's like 19,000 or 17,000 baht. And it's like 50 square meters, so it's good size. So you can find some really good deals. But like was mentioned earlier in the chat, just be careful in the neighborhoods that don't, make sure they don't flood. And the place I looked at yesterday, and I videotaped it, and I'll post that too. But they have a shuttle. They have a free shuttle to the Prompong BTS every hour. So that's nice. If you can find a condo that's farther away from the BTS but has the shuttle, you're going to be in good shape because you're going to find it cheaper, and you got that convenience of the shuttle. I certainly wouldn't start a family at return. No, no, God, no. I'm too old for kids. um, Now, I will say if an Asian girl or woman has a child already, um, I may be open to a relationship with her on a couple of conditions. One, the father is no longer involved in the family. I made that mistake in the U.S. I married into a family that the woman had 3 kids from another marriage, and the ex-husband or the father was heavily involved in the children, and I was always an outsider. For 16 years of marriage, I was always the outsider, and it was not a good situation. And I will never do that again. So, and then also if the kid is older, and out of the moved out and on his own, that's okay. If it's a teenager, that would be tough, I would think. Oh, here we go. I missed this one. I got a beautiful Filipina, 5+ years now. Couldn't be happier. Good for you, damn cars. Awesome. Congratulations. Thanks for coming on, by the way. Okay, JJ, I'm going to call it a night here. Catch you later. Okay, Dave, thanks for coming in. Appreciate you being on the chat. The juice is not worth the squeeze. Stay single. What methods do you use to hunt for apartments? All right, so I use DD Property, this is where I showed you that earlier. So I use DD Property. I've also used Rent Hub in Thailand. I've also used Dot Property, which is DOT Properties. So those 3 are the main ones. I also look at Facebook Marketplace too. Sometimes you can find a gem there. The problem with Facebook Marketplace is a lot of times there are so many agents that are posting. So you'll see like 5 different posts of the same condo. Or you'll see a post and you'll message them and say, hey, I like this condo. Is it still available? No, sir, it's not available. And then they'll send you this other one that they're trying to push off to you, and it's a lot worse than the one that you were looking at to begin with. So yeah, that's not a good area. Not a good thing. So sometimes Facebook Marketplace can be kind of hit or miss. I have an AXA policy in the Philippines, peace of mind in case of a medical emergency. Good. Yeah, that's awesome. I was married about 25 years. At the age of 60, I have no intention of committing to a permanent relationship again. Single and free is the way to be. Okay, you sound like Ace Bachelor cool. Any plans on driving in Thailand, either car or bike? Not in Bangkok. No, I don't need to, because of the train system. So easy to get around. So, but if I, if I go to Hua Hin or up to Chiang Mai or Pattaya or wherever, and if I stay extended, I'll probably rent a bike. Um, the only problem is I haven't ridden a motorcycle since I was in high school, so that could be an issue. Pay out of pocket for a vasectomy there? I don't know. I got mine a long time ago, so I don't know how much a vasectomy costs there. You could probably do it. I mean, I doubt it's that expensive. Do you take testosterone? Why is finding a partner a priority at your age? Don't be offended by my question, as in my 50s and not far behind. Sorry. No, it's not a priority at all. In fact, I've been here. See, November, December, January, March, April, May, June, July. 10 months. I've been here 10 months and I haven't really dated or anything. So I'm not looking. I'm not actively looking. So it's not a priority. But I know a lot of my subscribers, it is a priority. And it's one of the things they ask about and talk about. So I want to make sure I show them all the options available. I know some guys that still pay for and say they will fly back home if something is serious. My argument is if it's something serious, you cannot fly back for 26 hours. I don't understand. What do you mean? Why can't you fly back for 26 hours? Why do you have to wait? If I'm reading your comment right, it sounds like you're saying you have to wait 26 hours before you can fly back. I'm not understanding your comment there, I guess, Phil. I'm sorry. Call me dumb. Hiring a maid might be a lot cheaper than having to pay for a partner. Well, that could be a problem. That could be problematic because if you hire her as a maid and it ends up being something else, that could be a legal issue that I would not want to get involved with. I would just be a little concerned about doing that. I have maid service here. It's really awesome. But once a month they come in and they clean everything. It's 900 baht. And they change all the bedding, the linens, because my condo is owned by the building owner. So the person who owns the building or the company that owns the building owns my unit. So I pay them directly. And so part of that is I can do the 900 baht a month or whenever, and they'll change all the sheets out, all the linen and the towels and everything is in the unit already. I didn't have to buy any of that. So they change that all out. They clean it all really good, and it's only $900, but nothing extra. Okay, fair enough. Thanks for the explanation. Okay, thanks, Jugsy. Oh, I was referring to you. If you're not wanting sex, then do you want her there to clean the house and cook as a woman should? You can hire somebody to do all that for you. Yeah, they've got plenty of that. I don't know that I would want. I don't need somebody to cook for me, and I don't need a live-in maid. That would be kind of a waste of money because I'm not that I'm not that dirty a person as far as clean. Right there, back there, that's the amount of clutter I have. I've got my wallet, my sunglasses, and my rabbit card. That's about it. That's about it for clutter. So, once a month they come out and they sweep, mop, clean the bathroom, change the sheets, that sort of thing. Driving in Thailand is crazy and dangerous. I rented a scooter for 2 months and had several close calls and white knuckle drives. It's walking or bolt grab for me. Yeah. Bolt and grab are awesome. The trains are awesome. If you're outside of Bangkok, yeah, bolt and grab would be the way to go. I'll stop trolling with chauvinist remarks. No problem. No trolling. I don't consider that trolling. Those are legitimate questions, I think. Yeah. But yeah, if I wanted to date, I don't know that I would do it on a dating site. Uh-oh. Let me see what this says. JG doesn't need to take testosterone. Rumors have it that he puts off pheromones from Bangkok to Patong. Come on, man. Why you do me dirty? Oh Lord. I don't need extra testosterone. I'm doing all right. Let's see what else. Hire a commercial company. You don't want to end up accused of something in Thailand or anywhere for that matter. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, you don't need to live. Why would you want to live in maid? Unless you up front you're saying, hey, I want you as my girlfriend and you're going to clean and cook for me too. And I'll take care of you otherwise. I'm jaded from being treated like an ATM over the years. Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good thing. JG, I was referring to the length of the flight. Oh, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Back to the US. Yeah, if someone was seriously ill, would they be able to endure the flight? Exactly. Yeah. You're exactly right. Or if they, if it's something like stroke or heart attack, you're screwed. You'll never get back to the US. You're screwed. I'm talking about if I'm diagnosed with cancer or something like that, and I want to go back for treatment, or God forbid, I've got some terminal illness and I've got months to live, and I want to go back and live out the last part of my life in the US, something like that. Then the emergency insurance pays for that stuff. So if you have a 40-year age gap, you're going to get used. Yeah, exactly. You know what? But you know what? I mean, if you're 70 and she's 30, or if you're 60 and she's 20, now it's not so common here in Thailand, but it's common in the Philippines. You get an age gap like that. But you have to look at it. It's like, is it? It's probably not true love. Maybe 10% of the time it might be. It's more of I'll do this for you if you do this for me. It's a quid pro quo. So I'm paying the money to support you and give you what you need, and once in a while maybe support your family's sick carabao, sick buffalo. You give me the what I need as far as the intimacy and the sexual needs and desires that I have, and that's an agreement. It's one of those things that they both agree on, and if it's both agreed on, then fine. I don't have a problem with it. To me, I think it's kind of empty. You can do the pay for play with the girls, and the freelancers and the bar fines and all that, but that's empty love in my thinking. It's not real love. It's more just a ends to a means to an end. You just, I pay for this and I'm okay, and then you're free to go. I don't know if I would ever be able to do that. So anyway, I just finished up a 28 night stay in Bangkok at an Airbnb. I paid a small fee to have a maid come once a week. Well worth it. And it has some proper cleaning. Absolutely. Yeah. That's what I like about the Airbnbs. A lot of them have that option. That guy in the UK that had a brain tumor had issues getting back to the UK from Thailand. He's almost gone now, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah. I hadn't heard about that, but yeah, you're right. I mean, you just never know. Michael Onstat recommends just insure for catastrophic medical issues and pay for a small medical needs out of pocket your budget. Yeah, exactly. That's what I do. That's what I'm doing now. Thomas Rudy, good morning, JJ. Merry Christmas. My condo in the Philippines put the tree up yesterday. Yes, it's Christmas season in the Philippines. Today's the last day of August, so starting tomorrow, you'll walk in the malls and you'll be hearing Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is You. Guaranteed. I mostly stick to 10-year age gap, not into babysitting. Yeah, you're absolutely right. To me, it's like, why would you date a 20-year-old? You have zero in common. She's on TikTok. You're on financial pages, on YouTube or whatever, um, I don't see that there would be anything in common. So I don't know. You seem to be enjoying your freedom. No lonely. Yeah, I'm not a lonely bull. Well, I'm lonely in the sense that I don't have anyone, but the reason I picked that name was because I've always been kind of a loner in my family, and always like to travel, and I don't mind traveling alone. I like being alone, because I can set my own schedule. If I want to get up early and do something, I can. If I don't want to do anything, I don't have to rely on somebody else. So that's me, a lonely bull. And then I picked that because my mom used to listen to this song all the time when I was a kid, called "The Lonely Bull" by Herb Alpert and the Tijuana Brass. So if you know that song, you know what I'm talking about. But that's where I came up with the name. So, and there's a scene in Jerry Maguire, if you watch that movie, where Cuba Gooding Jr. is at practice. He's the football player at practice, looking to get a better deal, contract deal, and he's kind of an outsider. He's got a chip on his shoulder, and nobody likes him, so he's kind of a loner. And he's in practice, and they're showing him during practice, and they're playing that song that my mom used to play all the time when I was a kid. They're playing that in the background, and it's like, there you go, Lonely Bull. So there's now you know how I came up with the name, the brain tumor. Yeah. Um, a guy here was diagnosed with cancer at Bangkok Hospital. He discussed options with the hospital and opted to have the chemotherapy done at the public hospital. It was thousands cheaper. I mean, it is cheaper here, and the medical care here is good for the most part. So I don't think there's an issue with the medical care here. My bad, different guy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's an issue with the medical care here. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I've never personally experienced it. I've never had to. Knock on wood. Knock on wood. But I've heard it's good. Even the private hospitals are really, really good, but even the public hospitals are good from what I understand. So, all right, what else is on your guys' mind? We've talked about a lot. We can continue talking about dating if you want. We can talk more about condos and prices here in Bangkok compared to, say, the Philippines. Here's something. So I lived in 2 condos, 1-year leases for both of them in the Philippines, in BGC, Bonifacio Global City, which is in Metro Manila, which is arguably the most expensive area in the Philippines. All right. Nice condos, good size, over 50 square meters, each of them. But, and it's just not me, it's everybody I've talked to, continue to have roach problems, cockroach problems in the Philippines. And I don't know. And it's, I mean, you're talking BGC and some of these high-end, high-priced condos, and they're infested with roaches. I have not seen one roach since I've lived here in this condo. And I think that's probably something it's prevalent in the Philippines, but maybe not so bad here. But yeah, roach problems in the Philippines is horrible. Horrible. Let's see. He's referring to Steady Eddie. I don't know who Steady Eddie is with a brain tumor. Okay. Not sure who that is. The guy who's diagnosed him. Okay. Thousands cheaper. Okay. My bad, different guy. All right. Now we're caught up. Dating a 20-year-old is good. After breakup, they still have the best years of their life ahead of them. It's good for them, I guess. I don't know. I just don't see it. I don't understand why. I mean, I understand. I mean, when we see these pretty girls, and they're beautiful, and at that age, their bodies are in the best shape. Obviously, there's a physical attraction, but other than that, there's nothing. I don't think there's anything else that you can familiarize yourself. You can have in common with them. I just don't see it. So I don't know. Just my thoughts. I hate Manila, but I love to go to the casino there. I'm not a big casino guy, Greg, but um, do you win there? Because I don't know. My parents had the Tijuana Brass album. I don't remember that song, but I'm sure I'd recognize it. It was a big hit back in the 60s, I believe. Chugsy says, best topic, in my opinion, is regarding retirement options in the Southeast Asian countries you lived in. Why I'm truling here. Okay. So let me get caught up with chat here, and then we can talk retirement. Cockroaches are cannibals, so they never run out of food. Well, I think the problem in the condos I lived in, I mean, my girlfriend kept it spotless. I mean, it was always clean, but there was always a problem with roaches, and we would have them spray. The condo, the building management would spray as much as we want. So we'd have them spray every 2 weeks and put the gel down and all that. And it'd be okay for about a week or so, and then they'd start coming back. I think the problem was the neighbors that lived next to me. I think they're the ones that had the roach problem, and they just kind of infiltrated through the walls to my condo. I think that was the problem. But yeah, it was hard to keep going, keep track of that. I was in the Blackbird restaurant last night in Makati. Highly recommended. It's the old Manila Airport building. Oh, I'm not familiar with that. Good food. Excuse me. You are now looking for an apartment in Bangkok, but what do you think is the best area in Bangkok to live? Well, I like the Sukhumvit area. It's central. You got a good mix of expats and locals. It's super easy to get around. It's going to be a little pricey compared to other places, but I don't really, excuse me, I don't really get around to other places in Bangkok that much. So I just kind of like the neighborhoods. I like the Prompong neighborhood, the Asok neighborhood. Those are my choices, but there's a lot of different areas. Like we talked earlier about the Siloam area, which is a nice area too. I want to check out, there's an apartment complex, and this is a low-rise apartment just off the RE BTS, which is up north on the Green Line. And it's about maybe 6 stops from the Asok Sukhumvit line, 6 or 7 maybe. So it's a little bit out of the way, but I hear the neighborhood, I mean, it's a nice up and coming area. And this apartment looked really, really nice. And it was big and it was really cheap. And I can't remember off the top of my head what the price was, but it was good price. But it's a bit of a walk to the BTS. So if I go look at that place, and I'm going to try to look at it this week, I'm going to see if they have a shuttle that goes to the BTS. If they have a shuttle, then that might be the way to go, because if I remember right, it was under 19,000 baht a month, which would be really cheap for like 50 plus square meters. Nielsen Towers. Okay. If I ever get back to Manila, I might check that out. Here's an option to consider: leasehold property, house and lot leased from Subic, 40 years locked in, inflation hedge, home base amounts $400 a month, can be subleased or sold. I mean, is that like you buy it, or I'm not sure how that works. I'm not. I will never want to own property here. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. You go for the experience. It's fun, good food. I've been to 2 casinos in my life, one in Kansas City and one in Oklahoma, in Tulsa. And I go with a certain amount of money, And once it's gone, it's gone. If I win any money, I put that in a different pocket and don't touch it. And I just spend the money I came with. So, because eventually you're going to lose. Casinos are in business to win, not to lose. There could be 100,000 roaches living in the walls, eating each other. The ones you see is when they run out of space in the walls by reproduction. Yeah, that's what I heard. Yeah, I hate roaches. My condo is cleaned twice per month. Never ever saw a cockroach in that condo. Regular cleaning is very important. Well, we did it all the time. We cleaned all the time, and it didn't matter. So, but I've had friends that live in condos in BGC, and they have cockroach problems. So it's a big issue in the Philippines. I don't see it here. So that's nice. All right. Let's get away from the cockroach conversation. I don't really care much for cockroaches. We can talk about retirement. So Philippines is super easy because you go there and you can stay on a tourist visa for 3 years without even having to leave. Now their cost of extending has gone up. Do they have better beer varieties in Thailand compared to the Philippines? Also, is food safe, handling safer in Thailand, like in restaurants and food stands? I've never had an issue eating here in Thailand. I've gotten food poisoning a few times in the Philippines. I've never had it here in Thailand. The food is amazing. The beer variety is a lot better. But if you like San Meg Light, you can still get it here in Thailand. If you like the Philippine beer, but they've got a lot of different Thai brands. They've got Laos beer. You can get beer from Laos. You can get beer from Singapore, but you can get like Guinness. You can get your pint of Guinness if you like that. Almost every Irish pub here in Bangkok, and there are a ton of them, have Guinness. Even the English pubs have them. So it's great. I love Guinness. I love drinking a good beer. So they've got good beer here, good beer selection. So yeah. And the food is amazing. The street food. Good rule of thumb is if you see a lot of locals eating at street food vendors, it's probably a good place to eat. So, hey, Michael, thanks for coming on board. Combat roach traps actually work. Sadly, they have been around since the early 80s, and somehow they are still not recognized for the cure that they are. It's the only treatment you'll ever need. So when I was in the Philippines, we got the traps. And we got the spray, and we had them spray every other week at our condo. And it worked to some extent, but it didn't get rid of all of them. So I hear you about the Philippines. However, the lack of infrastructure, safety, and good food is a no-go. Also, the poverty would get to me with child beggars. Yeah, and most of those beggars they work for the syndicate or basically the local mafia. So it's all a scam. So you got to be careful with that. JG, as a single guy, you have much more money. True. Yeah. Much more spendable income than I ever did when I was married. That's for sure. And I was making good money when I was married and right after I got divorced. But it took me a while after my divorce to be able to get, just to be able to get my head above water and get debt free. But it's been great. I love it. But if you date a Thai woman, remember it's always by Chang. I'm not a big Chang guy, but that's usually the cheapest beer you can buy in Thailand is the Chang. I'm normally a Singha or a Leo, or sometimes I'll get the Singapore beer. I'll get the Tiger, which is pretty good. I get the Tiger pints. But once in a while, I'll just get me a nice Guinness. Guinness is great if it's not too hot out, and you're okay with beer that you just kind of sip and last for a while and gets to be room temperature. It's great. Guinness is fantastic. So, yeah, talk to me about beer. I'm all about it. Probably too much beer lately, but I've been cutting back. I haven't had. Let's see. I only had beer once this past week. Went out with some friends and went and listened to some blues music and had a couple of pints. But I haven't had anything since then, and that's been a week. So I've actually lost 5 pounds since I've been back, so I'm pretty excited about that. Let's see. I actually like Chang. Was a Leo guy to begin with for many years. Yeah, I like Leo. All of those beers are good. I like them all. I used to be just strictly Singha, 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 but then I started drinking the Tiger, and I really like it because I like. So here I can get Tiger. When I was in Vietnam, I was able to get Tiger also. So that was kind of a nice thing. Leasehold property is a long-term lease from the government. Okay. All right. I don't know that I would need that. Guinness is nicest in Dublin, very high standard. Well, of course. Yeah, of course it's going to be nicer in Ireland. That's on my bucket list to go there one of these days. Maybe next year. Okay, we covered roaches. What about mice and rats? I haven't seen any. Now, I saw when I first moved to BGC, and if you're familiar with Bonifacio Global City, you know Forbstown Road. I was staying in an Airbnb right at the end of Forbstown, and I'm walking, and right when you come to the beginning of Forbstown Road, you have um, those food trucks. One's a pizza, one's a burger, like Moe's Burgers or something like that. Anyway, I'm walking there and I see this, and they have cats everywhere in BGC. I mean, that's kind of people drop off stray cats, and this group picks them up, stray cats. They spay and neuter them, and then they put them back in BGC and they feed them every day. So there's hundreds of cats everywhere. Well, I'm walking down the sidewalk right at the beginning of Forbstown. I see this thing cross in front of me. I'm thinking it's a cat, right? And I look down and it runs into the bushes, and it's this rat about this big. And I'm thinking, okay, here we go. And then when the first time I was in Vietnam, I saw in Ho Chi Minh City, saw this huge rat right there at this outside street vendor place, just run on the sidewalk and into the gutter. It's like, nice. I haven't seen any here though. I'm sure there are. There's rats everywhere. I like beer, but I have to give it up. I can't drink beer and stay in shape. I know it's hard. I know. Huda, yeah, and Larue in Vietnam for me. I've had Huda. I'm not a big Larue fan, but I've had the Huda before. Not bad. I'm sure I misspelled both. No, you got them both. I think you got them both right, Chugsy. Yeah. Um, yeah, I've had the Huda. I've had the Larue, but I've only had it once. I wasn't a big fan of it, but I'm on when I'm out and about. If Tiger's available, that's kind of my go-to now. Even before Singha, so I'll get a Tiger pint before I get a Singha. A lot of times it's like I like all these beers, so I'll go for the cheapest one on the list. So nice, awesome. All right. So I'd much rather talk about beer than talk about rats and cockroaches. It's a lot more. The food is really good here. In fact, talking about it is making me hungry. I haven't eaten yet today, so I need to eat because I need to take my vitamins, and I want to do it I don't want to do it on an empty stomach. When the rats are bigger than the cats, watch out. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's not a good thing. All right, guys. Caught up with chat pretty much. Let me see here. I'm a cheap Charlie. You know what? I spent about $1,200 on my vacation to Vietnam, which was a little more than I thought I would spend, but it wasn't bad. I mean, is that video out now or is that coming out tomorrow? I think that's out now. But I'm not a big whiskey drinker. I'm not a big. I like a glass of wine sometimes. Like if I'm at a nice dinner, steak dinner or pasta or something like that, I'll have a nice glass of red wine, um, Merlot or something along those lines. Um, but I don't drink whiskey. Once in a while, if the guys were out with the guys and they're like, "Hey, let's get a shot," and maybe I'll get a shot of Jameson or something like that. But that's very rare that I'll go that way. I like to be in control. So referring to beer menu, right? Oh, right, yeah. Um, Yeah, I'm a cheap Charlie when it comes to the beers too. I mean, I like the taste of all of them. So, like, I can do the Tiger, I can do the Leo, I can do the Chang, I can do the Singha, and so I just kind of which one's the cheapest. If I can save 30, 20 baht, 60 cents, I'll do it because I'm a cheap Charlie that way. I myself have never been to Bangkok, Pattaya, Koh Chang, and other places in Thailand without seeing rats. Wow. Okay. I'm sure they're there. I just haven't seen any. Maybe I'm just not looking, but whiskey shots are faster than a can of beer. Yeah, that's the problem. They go down too quick. At least with a beer, I can take my time and I don't drink as much. Whiskey shots, you can boom, you're done. That's why here's a tip for you guys. If you go to a bar, like a bar girl bar where the buy the girls drinks at the bar, don't let them get shots. Make them get a beer or a mixed drink because it'll take them longer to drink it. Because if they get a shot, boom, they're done and they're asking you for another drink already. Whereas a mixed drink or a beer, it'll take them a little longer to drink it, and they won't keep asking you for them to buy for you to buy them a drink again. So there's your tip of the day. Being a cheap Charlie is good. It can be, yeah, absolutely. Irish whiskey can get very expensive, especially the rare whiskey. I'm just a Jameson guy. I like Jameson, but yeah, you're right. I should if I get into a nice big place that has an area for a bar. My whole thought was just to stock it with really good whiskeys and things like that. Not that I would drink it, but it would be there in case I have friends over that want to have a nice shot of whiskey or something. I'll have that there, and it'll look good in the backdrops of my shot of my streams. Seen them in garbage piles in Patong. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm heading to Nha Trang and Dalat next week. The flights are almost double the cost of flights to Da Nang. I did find some great deals on accommodations, though. Where are you flying from, Phil? And why don't you just fly to Da Nang and then take flights from there to these other places? It might be cheaper, or take a train or something. How about no lady drinks? What a scam. Yeah, that's true. You can do that. But if you like, girls flirting with you and acting like they like you, you know, go to those bars. It's not bad. I mean, once in a while I'll go there, and it's nice to have a girl pay attention to you. That's not a bad thing. Yeah, nice, Phil. Yeah, let me know how Nha Trang and Dalat is. I've never been to those places, but I've heard good things about it. So, could you recommend any good jazz clubs in Bangkok? Love jazz, absolutely. So, my number one place would be the Saxophone Pub, which is if you take the BTS north and get off at Victory Monument, and it's just to the right as you get off as you're heading north. Um, that's my number one place for good blues and good jazz. Number two would be a place in Prakannon, right behind the W District, and it's called the. Oh, okay, losing my mind here. Hang on, I got a senior moment. Um, Somebody help me out here. That's on the chat. Oh, I can't believe I was just there like 5 nights ago. What was the name of that place? Fishbone. Fishbone is the name of the place. that's a good. It's a small venue, probably maybe 20 people max can get in there. But if you go in there, they've got a nice little stage in the corner, and they play good blues and good jazz music. So those two places. There's others that you can go to. I can't think of any off the top of my head, but Bangkok is just a great place for live music. It's such a great, vibrant live music scene. That's another reason I love it here. They've got some fantastic bands. One band that I really, really like, and they play all over Bangkok. They're called the Chocolate Cosmos. Chocolate Cosmos, and they play. They're kind of um, I guess modern rock band, progressive rock maybe. So they play things from the 90s, 2000s, 2010s, but they're really, really good. The guitarist can really shred. He's also the lead singer, but they're super good, and they play all over. They'll play at O'Shea's on the rooftop a lot of times. They'll play at a place. Oh, another place to go to is what's the name of the place? I'll have to think. The Black Door or Black Barn Club. I think it's called Black Barn Club. I think that's the name of Black something. But anyway, it's just this little hole in the ground, out of the way place. But they have great music when you get in there. It's nice club, decent size, a little pricey compared to some of the other places that have live music. But you're not going to be disappointed by the music. So that's what I love about Bangkok. You're flying from you're flying from Bangkok. Okay. And direct flights to Dalat or Nha Trang are pricey, huh? Because when I flew from Bangkok to Da Nang, it was $45, and when I flew back, it was $45 one way. So it was pretty cheap. Both Nha Trang and Dalat are on my bucket list. Yeah, me too, Chugsy. Definitely on my bucket list. I was in pest control. Placing the combat bait stations in the right areas is all you really need to do. It helps if your neighbors are using too, as you could have hundreds of roaches in other condos. Yeah, I think that was my problem. I think the neighbor was the one that was having the issues, and they were just coming on over. Bangkok has everything. I should be in Bangkok in November sometime for a long weekend. Oh, awesome. Yeah. Get in touch with me, and we'll go out and we'll have a Guinness. I just searched your next beer tap room, Thai Soon Bar in Bangkok, craft beer bar. Oh, awesome. Where's that at? Thai Soon Bar. Let me look that up. You know what? The best way to learn how to pronounce words in Thailand is ride the trains, because they always announce the station in Thai first, and so you can listen to it how they're pronouncing it. And then you can look at the word and say, okay, that's how you pronounce it. Okay, so Tai Soon Bar. Let's see where it's located. Oh, okay. It is on the other side of the river. Or wait, hang on. Is it on the other side of the river? Oh, it's over. Oh, it's close to the Grand Palace. Okay, I know where that is. Oh, yeah. You'd have to take the blue. Looks like you take the MRT blue line, and then from there, it's probably about a 15-minute walk, maybe. Let's see. From my place to there, it's about an hour and a half. So I got to walk to the yellow line, and then from the yellow line, take one stop to the green line, which is the one that goes up Sukhumvit, and get on there. And then from there, get off at a Sok, and then get on the MRT blue line and get off at the Samyot exit on the blue line. And it's a 15-minute walk to the Thai Soon Bar. Okay. I got it. I'll check it out. Ace Bachelor Tom, and I'll let you know how it is. I may check that out this coming weekend, and then next Sunday, maybe next Sunday I'll do just a review of these live venues. That'd be kind of cool. I'll let you know closer to the date. Okay, thanks. Yeah, definitely let me know. It looks like they have 20 beers on tap and a few hundred canned and craft beers from around the world. Nice, sweet. I bet that's a little pricey, but it might be worth a one-time. He's right. I usually stay around Suta-san Station. Okay. Could be an opportunity for a video. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I did some videos at Saxophone Pub when I was there. I did some shorts. That's a really neat pub. I was there on a Sunday, and I don't know if they do this every Sunday or not, but they had a country band there. So the first guys that were there, it was a guy playing guitar and a keyboardist, and the guitarist sang. I think it was the guitarist that sang, and they did a lot of kind of yacht rock music, like the James Taylor and John Denver, and the kind of the folk music stuff, and it was really good. They were super good. And then when the main guys came as the second act, the guitarist was part of that band, so he stayed on, and they played country music. And I mean, they were playing, and these guys were Thai, pure Thai, and they were playing really good country music and singing really well. I mean, they did Ghost Riders in the Sky, which if you're a country fan, you got to know that song. But they played that for like 8 minutes. They were so good. And they did a lot of other country songs too. But they were really, really good. And I've been there a few other times where they've had blues and they've had some kind of a pop jazz. So they do all kinds of music there. But yeah, the live music scene in Bangkok is off the chain. It is so good. You will not be disappointed. Not be disappointed. But all right. And we've covered a lot, guys. We're just over 2 hours. Let's see. We got 20 on right now, so let's keep going. Any other questions you guys have? Any other comments? We've covered a lot. We went from education to condos to dating to cockroaches to rats to beer to live music. That's a lot to cover in 2 hours, but it's been fun. And I've picked up 2 members, so thank you for that. Thank you so much for the memberships. I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that. So Dave and Bjorn, both new members. So thank you for that. Let's not get into let's just not get into eating rats and cockroaches for meals. I've had bugs here when I was at before I moved here. When I was just visiting, I went to one of the street markets, the night markets called Jod Fairs, and at that time it was at Central Rama 9, right outside the mall. It was a really neat area, big venue for street food and merchandise. And I'm walking around. I've got my gimbal. I'm doing video, and these girls are sitting by this one area over to toward the end. They were selling beer, and it was kind of a surf beach theme bar, and the table that they had out front was a surfboard with benches. And these Thai girls were all sitting at this surfboard, and they see me coming and they're waving at me, and they're all beautiful, right? And so I'm like, oh, hey, they're waving at me. So sucker I am. I come up to them, and the one girl's got this stick, like a skewer type thing, and she gives it to me and like, hey, try this. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm live, right? Well, I'm not live, but I'm videotaping. So I go, okay. So I grab it without looking at what it was. I look at it, and they're two giant, about this big around, two giant like grubs. And it's like once I grabbed it, I'm thinking, okay, now I've gone beyond the point of no return here. So I gave her my camera, and she videotaped me eating one of them. It's like, huh. And it was crunchy and salty, and it was gooey in the middle, and it was, ugh. I'll never. That's the first and last time I've eaten a bug on purpose. I've gotten bug in my mouth, on a motorcycle before, but not like that. So the only saving grace on that was, it was salty. So, but other than that, there was nothing redeeming about eating a grub worm or a bug or whatever the hell it was. But you can get scorpion. They got fried scorpions and tarantulas, and they got live little squid that they put in a salad. And so you open up your salad, and they're jumping all over the place, and you got to eat them, and you eat them live. And yeah, it's but they got real food too. They got normal food too. That's good. So 81 watching. Wow. That's awesome. Don't forget to hit that like button, guys. It really helps the algorithm. After the live stream, it posts on my channel, and then you can watch the replay, and others can watch it. But having all those likes up front, it helps the algorithm shown to other people, so it gets out to YouTube more. Crickets are well paired with brewskis. Yeah, you do that. Yeah, they got tons of crickets and grasshoppers, and I'll just pass on that. I have only ever eaten street food in Taipei, pizza, and it was amazing. Oh, nice. I've only been to Taipei in the airport. It's one of the cooler airports I've been to, other than like Singapore. But each gate has a different theme. And the gate I was leaving out of when I was traveling was the Hello Kitty gate. So everything was designed like Hello Kitty, and it was kind of funny. But that's Taipei. Bjorn, I have to go. This was nice, JG. See you, and talk to the rest of you later again. Take care of yourselves. Thanks, Bjorn. Thanks for coming on today, and thanks for being a member. Appreciate that a bunch. 18 watching. Yeah, that's what I've got. So, but I've got 180, 160 that have been up and on and off all day, and so that's cool. But this has been a fun live stream. I enjoy the chat. When you guys interact, that's the best. It makes my job a lot easier. I don't have to come up with topics. You guys come up with the topics. So that's been a lot of fun. So we'll keep going. We're at 18 right now, 18 on right now. So we'll keep driving along until my voice runs out, or until nobody's on. So the most overwhelming airport I was ever in was Kuala Lumpur. When you say overwhelming, was that like confusing to you? Because I've been in a lot of confusing airports. Like I spent New Year's Eve in San Francisco airport. And San Francisco is like, you got a hub in the middle, and then you've got all the terminals that are like spokes around. And I flew in from Manila. This was when I first traveled to the Philippines back in December 2015. And I was on United, and it was horrible flight up, horrible flight back, nothing but problems. So I flew out of O'Hare, and I flew to LA, and I had to change planes in LA. And then I flew to Manila. And on the way back, I tried to get the cheapest flight I could find, and it was still like $2,500 or something like that round trip. It was expensive. It was during Christmas, 2015, pre-COVID. When I came back, I flew out of Manila, flew into Guam, and then I flew out of Guam, and we flew into a couple of the Marshall Islands, or those islands there, and like Saipan, I think, was one of them, and then there was another one, and it felt like it felt like I was on a Greyhound bus. You know, if you remember, if you've ever been on a Greyhound bus and you're driving down the highway and you pull over at every little town because somebody's getting off and somebody else is getting on. That's what it felt like. It was like we barely get into the air and then we're landing again into the next island. And we did that, and then we finally my next leg was to San Francisco. This is on the way back, and I flew into San Francisco. It was New Year's Eve, and my connecting flight was in. So like if these are the spokes at San Francisco, I flew in here, and my connecting flight was here. So I had to run to catch it. Otherwise, I was going to miss my flight, right? So I get all the way over there, and it's delayed. So I'm out of breath, but it's delayed. It's like, okay. So they kept delaying it over and over and over again. I go, what the hell is going on? So this was back, and the weather wasn't a problem there. This was back in, so this is the end of 2015, and there was an issue with, there was some weather down south. I can't remember if it was in Texas or in the Gulf area. And I don't remember if it was a snow event or if it was a hurricane, but it affected flights going into and out of San Francisco airport somehow. And come to find out, they didn't have a crew. They didn't have a crew to fly this flight. So they scheduled this flight without having a crew. So what the hell? Why did they do that? So I spent New Year's Eve. I rolled in rock and rolled in the new year at San Francisco airport. So midnight comes. It's like 1 a.m. now. And I've been there for like 6 hours or more, 8 hours maybe. And finally I see the cabin crew, the pilot and co-pilot, they're walking through the gate. So they're getting on board. It's like, great. So I go up to are we going to be able to board? Or we don't have a crew. We don't have a flight crew for the staff. And I'm thinking to myself, I'll serve the water. Just let's get on board here. So finally they got a crew and we finally were able. So I got into Chicago O'Hare at like noon on New Year's Day. And my sister, who lives in Chicago, came and picked me up. It's like, what an ordeal. So I'll never fly domestic international again. I'll never fly United or any of those domestic carriers international again. It was just a nightmare. Going up was a nightmare because flying out of LA, it's like a 14-hour flight to Manila, right? And my charging port wasn't working on my seat. So I couldn't charge my phone. So my phone died. So it was just a total nightmare. Anyway, so rant is over. But yeah, that was my first experience flying into San Francisco airport. So the whole point of that whole story was that was an overwhelming airport for me. In the US, they sell cricket protein bars and powders. Why? JJ, the topic of education visa is a really great journey to go on with you. Yeah, I'm excited about it. Like I said, I'm just waiting for the next step in the process, and I'll keep doing videos on it and update you guys on that whole process on getting my Thai language done. I heard it was recommended you carried toilet paper with you everywhere in the Philippines. The same in Thailand? No, not so much in Thailand. You can go into most public toilets and they've got toilet paper. Very rare that they don't. Philippines, another story. Rare that they have toilet paper. So, always carry toilet paper or maybe just a little pack of those wet naps with you. So you've got that covered in case you've CYA, literally, you're covering your ass on that, right? Taipei airport is great. Same with Hong Kong as well. Nanjing and Kunming, not so much. They take away passport and herd foreigners around like cattle. Never again. They take away your passport. That's weird. Never been to Hong Kong. Always wanted to go. That's on my list eventually. It has huge terminals, and I was rushing for a connection to Manila, and it was with Malaysia Airlines after the incident with a missing aircraft are stressful. Oh, I'll bet. Yeah. Crickets are similar to Spitz sunflower seeds. They're not gross like other bugs. Okay. I don't know. Eating crickets is gross to me. That's just me. But I'll stick to, Thai noodles, rice. Um, now in the Philippines, they got some crazy food like the sisig. If you like sisig, if you know what that is, it's basically pig's face. It's the face of the pig. And from what I heard the other day, I think Gio told me this. The reason why sisig is such a big thing in the Philippines is that back during the wars, when the U.S. was there, the troops were there. The U.S. would eat the good part of the pig and throw out the head, and then the poor Filipinos would get the head, and they would take what they could off the head, including the meat and the skin, the ears, and that, and then they would eat that, and that became their sisig, and that was how they started eating sisigs, and now it's a delicacy, I guess, or something. Now everybody eats it. That's what I heard. There's another thing I heard. Are you guys familiar with aswangs? Just let me know, yes or no. You know what an aswang is. I'll tell you the story behind that. It's interesting. But let's get caught up on chat here. Okay, I already got that. Crickets are similar. I already read that. Balut looks awful. Yeah, I will never eat balut. Balut is fertilized duck egg. So it's like the egg at 18, 19, or 21 days. I think it's days. So the later it is, the more defined the beak is, and basically you just open up the top and you suck the juice out and you eat the egg and you chew on the bill and okay. All right. X-Possess says no, he does not know what an aswang is. Aswan Boogie Monster. Just found a site you might be interested in. Bangkok Beer Guide. Oh, there you go. Looks like there will be several beer events coming up in September and October. More vlogger video opportunities. Absolutely. Thanks. Appreciate that. Okay, so an aswang is it's ASWANG, aswang. It's a Philippine legend or myth, kind of like a vampire that comes out at night, and the whole story has got a very thin, sharp tongue, and it sucks your blood, especially sucks the blood out of babies or kidnaps babies. But that myth became huge back during the war when the U.S. was here in the Philippines and the CIA was big in the Philippines. The CIA would, and then let me try to make sure I get this story right. And I think I saw this on Y-Files, actually. We're back to Y-Files. Something about the CIA would take cattle or livestock, and they would drain all the blood out of it and say it was from the aswang, and to scare the locals away from their area so they can do their CIA covert operations. Something along those lines. So I'll have to check to make sure I got that story right, but it's similar to that. But there may have been that aswang myth prior to that, but the CIA was heavily involved in really upping the scare tactics and making that myth bigger than life by doing those things. So I thought that was an interesting story. JJ, love the channel. Appreciate the value and relevant insights you share. I'm planning a scouting trip to Bangkok soon to experience the city's energy before deciding on a possible relocation. Awesome, Forrest. Well, thanks for tuning in. Where are you from, Forrest? We'd like to know that. Yes, Chugsy, you were right. It's the scary monsters. What did you call it? Boogie Monster, right? Yeah. Only know about Aswang from Fatima on Overstay Road. Okay. Well, my ex-girlfriend, she believes in it. She believes in it a lot. I eat very little Filipino food, far too salty for my taste. Adobo is so nice, though. Yeah, I do like adobo. I like the what is it? The barbecued pig. God, you leave the Philippines for a little while and you forget everything. Ex-possesses Forrest Dorset. Good idea. Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. Oh, you're in Vegas. Okay. Yeah. Do an exploratory mission here. Yeah. You got to touch grass, get boots on the ground here to find out for sure. What is the pig? What is that called now in the Philippines? Gosh, I can't believe I'm having a senior moment like that. Anyway, that's pretty good though. But I thought that was an interesting story about the CIA and their covert operations. Lechon, yeah, Lechon. That's right, Stephen. Thanks, appreciate that. That's really good. Lechon's really, really good. Yeah, but Philippine food is full of salt, full of sugar, full of grease. It's all fried. I've actually forgotten to. Isn't it funny how you leave someplace and you forget everything? I was trying to think the other day, how do you say thank you in Tagalog? And it's like, what is that again? It's like, oh yeah, it's salamat. The bar that I was telling you about earlier that plays the live music, the Fishbone, they have most of their staff of the waitresses there are Filipina. So you can take the Filipina out of the Philippines, but you can't take the Philippines out of the Filipina. Isn't that how that goes? See if you like it first. Sounds like a plan. Absolutely. That barbecue pig on big rotisserie looks awesome. Yeah, it tastes really good. And a lot of times they put spice and stuff. They spice it up, veggies and herbs in the middle while they cook it. And they cook the whole thing, head and everything. I mean, it's a rotisserie, but then they slice it up and you get nice big chunks. The last time I ate that I was at a function, a friend of mine, and she had a big dinner. She's a Filipina, and she had a big dinner, and so she invited me there, and I went there, and it was fantastic. They had the whole boodle fight, and a boodle fight is where they just put a big thing out on the table and they just pour all the seafood and stuff right there on the table, and you just dish it up on your plate and you just eat, shrimp, prawn, clams, oysters, whatever it is, they got it all right there. It's called boodle fight. But it was really, really good. I really enjoyed that. And the lechon is super delicious. I like the crispy skin on the outside, the crispy part. I think that's the best part of the whole pig is the lechon is eating that. So anyway, so the lady I went to, she's got a video channel, a YouTube channel. It's called Filipina Unfiltered. Her name is Corinne, and she actually lives in Vegas. So Forrest, she lives in Vegas, but she comes to the Philippines a couple of times a year to visit family and that. But I think she's a realtor, or she was a realtor. I don't know if she's still working or not. She's young. She's younger than me. But she's got a fun channel, and it's called Filipina Unfiltered, and she just kind of tells it like it is, and I like her bluntness. She's a good person too, really friendly, and she invited me to dinner with her family, so that was pretty cool. So anyway, let's see what time we got. We're about almost to 2.5 hours. So we're at 19 people on right now. We'll keep going. Make sure you hit that like button, guys. I would appreciate that. Wasn't her channel taken down? She took her channel down for a while because she had some troll on there. And she just got fed up with the troll, so she shut it down for a while. But she's back up and running now. I think she's back up, but at least she was until recently. If I had to pick just one, I may pick a Filipina I dated as my favorite girlfriend. So, have you dated other Asian women, or just Filipina, or why would you pick her? What was special about her? 9 more people hit the like button since I last noticed. Nice. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah. I think she's back up and running. She was last time I checked. I don't get a lot of notifications anymore. That's something I should bring up. Make sure you guys are hitting that notification bell so you get notified when I post, because only about 20% of the people that view my videos are subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, make sure you are, and then hit that notification bell so you know when I post new videos. So that's my plug for the day. But let's see. I think I'm about out of coffee. My voice is about had it. We've gotten 2.5 hours. I'm getting hungry. So I appreciate you all coming on. And I think we're going to call it a day. And make sure you watch for my new video coming out tomorrow. That will be, let's see, that's an update on my language school. So that'll be my first update on doing the language class and doing the education visa. So that posts tomorrow. If you're a member, you can watch it now. But if you're not, you can wait till tomorrow. And then I'll probably post another video onto the membership page. And that'll be my dating one, whether to date, have a full-time girlfriend or do the pay for play thing. Yeah. That'll be my pros and cons of each one. So I'll probably post that tomorrow on members only. So it's only 99 cents a month to be a member. So if you want to join that, I'd appreciate it. And you can see those videos before anybody else. And then there's a library of some videos you can catch up on too. Oh yes, JJ, absolutely. Asian girls are great to date. I dated all different types besides Asian girls. I've dated mostly Filipina, but I dated a girl from Laos. I've dated a girl from Vietnam, a couple of girls from Vietnam. I've dated a girl from Thailand, or girls. So I've had that experience. I went out with, I didn't really date extendedly, but I went out with a Japanese girl before when I was in Japan back in 2020. That was nice. But yeah, mostly Filipina. I'm not into skinny birds. However, Ern is amazing inside and out. Whoever she chooses will be a very lucky man. Well, I will tell you, if she chooses or if she is dating someone, she won't tell you. You won't know, because she doesn't want to jeopardize losing subscribers from her channel. So, but she's a sweet girl. She created another channel. Yeah, I think she did. Yeah. 685 subs with 18 videos. Oh, for Philippine Unfiltered. Yeah, Philippine Unfiltered. Yeah, so go to her channel, subscribe, guys. She's a super nice lady. And she kind of tells it like it is. She calls it how she sees it. So anyway, all right, I'm all caught up with chat, I believe. So we're going to call it a night, guys, or call it a day. Have yourself a good day wherever you guys are. And we will talk to you next time. And as always, live life, my friend, and we'll see you again soon.